Pest control since 1939.
Let me tell you, what is happening in our schools right now is just wrong. It's dangerous, it's insane, and it has to stop. Here's the truth. There are two sexes, boys and girls, and for generations we've understood this, that they deserve their own sports teams, their own locker rooms, their own bathrooms. That's not discrimination, it is common sense.
That was Winsome Earl Sears, the candidate for governor, last night inside the Arlington School Board meeting. Outside the meeting was a whole other story. The wacko birds came out in full force, and observing them and engaging with them and catching them on video was our own favorite wacko bird, Corey Inganamort from TownHall Media, formerly of MAL. Hey, Corey, thanks for joining us.
Good morning, Larry and Patrice.
I do love, in the true Andrew Breitbart fashion, you probably looked out your window, you live in Arlington, saw the lunatics, and you walked straight into the crowd and said, bring it on. Tell me what the scene was like and what kind of engagements did you have?
Pretty much, Larry. Well, I didn't even know that this was happening until I was listening to Matthew Hurd on your program yesterday, and I was like, you know what? Nobody has radicalized me against this school board more than your show, more than Patrice and Julie Gunlock. I just felt like I had to get, some in the fight.
Don't get us indicted, Corey.
I'll take one for the team. But I knew, just living in this area, I've been to these things before, Republicans don't show up as much. First of all, we're outnumbered, and still there are some people who are a bit hesitant to, put their foot in the fire. So I decided to take it upon myself. I'm going to go. I'm going to be outnumbered. And I showed up. There was maybe one other Winsome Sears supporter there, and about 60 or 70 blue-haired, septum-pierced, mask-wearing, crazy, kidless boomer ladies. And they started making a scene out there, and they were going one by one with speakers. And I said, you know what? I just can't take this anymore. I'm listening. And I was like, I got to say something. So I yelled, I started screaming, I said, there's no such thing as a trans child, there's only mentally ill parents. And they all kind of froze. And then, of course, they get their whistles, and they start, a few of them actually were, hitting me with signs. A few of them was worried, I'm going to press charge. I don't care about any of that. But I exposed them. And afterwards, they were just yelling at me, you're such a bully. And you know what? I am a bully. And I think these people should be bullied. They should be bullied, shamed, ridiculed, laughed at, and shunned from society. Because if you think that there's such thing as a transgender child, you should be shunned from society. That's a badge I will proudly wear, and we're just done with the crap. We're done with it.
Corey, listen, folks, go to X. He's at The Bird's Words. I want you to watch the video. It was hilarious because you said you were saying common sense, and then these women are the ones who are literally putting their hands on you. They had whistles. Could you tell that this was really well organized? Because usually, if you're just a parent going to a rally, you're not going to show up there with whistles and ready to take out any sort of opposition.
Totally. They were so organized. They all had their signs, some of them professionally made. They had all sorts of equipment and whistles, and these are tactics. I've been to these before. That it's the same exact protesters showing up to all of these different things. They don't let you speak. They get in your face. They throw the signs in front of your cameras, so you can't film them. If they were proud of their message, they would let you film them. And it was just completely expected. I knew exactly what was going to happen. But Patrice, what happened inside the school boarding was just as disturbing to me. I was sitting watching this stuff. It was 90% people dressed in, trans gear and snapping their fingers with jazz hands because you weren't allowed to clap or anything. But the speakers, what they were saying, there was a seventh grade math teacher who spoke. He said he was a seventh grade math teacher, and he said, I can no longer teach math in my class, because the social struggles of these students are so real. I have taken it upon myself to help them out with their social life. This is a teacher that you are sending your son and your daughters to, who's supposed to learn math, and he says he doesn't have time for that.
Yeah.
There was another teacher. She said, I felt the urge to come out Thursday before class started. I felt the urge so I can be in solidarity with these children who are struggling. And then she goes on to say, I'm sure you covered it earlier in your show. I didn't catch the beginning hours. about that sign, that extremely racist sign. If the trans can't use
I was just about to ask you
bathroom.
about it. It's a sign, if you haven't been listening all morning, a woman was there with a sign that said, "Hey, Winsome, if trans can't share your bathroom, then blacks can't share my water fountain." And basically that's become the story
So
of the day.
insulting, so disgusting.
There was a teacher, guys, who said the same exact sentiment at the podium. She said that this is the teacher who said she decided to come out days before school started. She said, "I'm seeing the same type of fights as we saw in the 60s, how there were segregated bathrooms. There's segregated bathrooms." That's what she was saying, and I felt the urge to come out and not go back towards those times where transgender people are being treated like black people in the 60s. The speakers went on and on and on. And one of the most disturbing things that I saw last night, this woman, she had a daughter who had the trauma of having to witness a naked Richard Cox in a locker room. And she told the school board that this is unacceptable and these are the policies that you support. And it was heart-wrenching. I shed a tear. I really did. I was getting emotional. And I looked to my left, and all these people with their trans flags are laughing. They're looking at each other, and they hold a sign up. As she's speaking, she says, "Your obsession with child genitals is really weird." And she's mocking this poor woman
And
who
her daughter.
is not even speaking about child genitals. She's talking about an adult man exposing himself to her daughter. And it was sick.
Corey, that's Jen McDougall, by the way. We had her on the program earlier in the show. If you weren't so lazy, you would have been listening. We have to leave it there. You know I love you. And by the way, if you look at this video, you'll see Corey is wearing a black shirt, and there's lettering on the shirt in the same colors as the trans flag, and it says, "Trans women are men." And so because it's in the color and scheme of trans activist things, you have to look twice at it. Corey, how can people, if people want to get their own version of that shirt so they can wear it, where can they get that?
Oh, thanks for asking me. Freedommatters.com. Freedommatters.com. You can scroll to a section that says the No Woke Zone. Larry and Patrice know I troll the Potomac with my flag, with my Ice Ice baby flag. We rile up liberals on the shore all the time. I sell gear from that boat shop. So you'll see some other No Woke Zone shop, the boat logos and all that kind of stuff. But a fan favorite is the Trans Women Are Men shirt. It comes in 2 different styles, and it's fun. I wear it to farmers markets in Arlington. I just like poking the bear here. Because,
yes, you do, and that's why we like you, Corey. There you go. Freedommatters.com. Go to the No Woke Zone. 824.
Ever wonder